Speaking of being horsewhipped, fogged, flogged, and anally protruded, oh God, it. I had to watch The Plumber because I wanted to see the IWGP title, the world title of New Japan, the one that's been featured at the expense of the real AEW world title and its champion on their TV for the last couple months, that the Plumber won somewhere in San Bernardino, California or something. He didn't even go to Japan, and he won it on an American show, right? You're thinking.
Right.
Right. Well,
Actually, I'm not sure.
I think he won it in California on one of these New Japan Strong deals or whatever. Point is, the Plumber had to have the Japanese world title, and now he's defending against Naito. Not Naito, but Naito. There's an I, or elsewise it would be the North American Treaty Organization.
Yeah, you're right. He won the title in April in Chicago.
Chicago, not San Bernardino.
So the New Japan World Championship was won in Chicago, lost in Elmont, New York.
But the problem is that here again, Moxley, along with Danielson and Jericho, one of their top guys, and mainstream names, well, not a name, he had a different name, but you know what I'm saying, recognizable to the greater audience at large. He wins the title on a New Japan show and then comes in on an AEW pay-per-view. Another one of Tony's top guys just gets beat outright by this fucking unknown fucking guy. What? You put MJF against a Mexican mid-card guy. Danielson barely beats a Japanese senior citizen, and then another Japanese senior citizen kicks the shit out of one of your top guys and beats him on your own pay-per-view. How is this benefiting Tony Khan's AEW?
Well, like we were talking about earlier, Forbidden Door and the lead up to it doesn't benefit AEW at all, especially if the buy rates are going down, not up. The exposure he's giving other promotions' talent, especially the ones that he's not going to immediately turn around and try to sign, is admirable, but it doesn't help AEW. WWE and NXT specifically just featured TNA talent on that show. It benefited NXT. It benefited TNA too, and that's the real goal, is a win-win. But for AEW, this is time they should be spending building their talent so that everyone's ready for something down the road, soon or later. And instead, everyone just stands in place, and part of the reason is the weeks at a time spent building up other companies' wrestling stars, and it does nothing to advance AEW-centric programs.
Let me give you a little brief dissertation on my impressions of this match, because I said, okay, it's a world title match. I'll let them see what they can do to impress me. And they started trading fake forearms that nobody sold. And then Mox did fake kicks that didn't connect. And then he went out, he slid 2 chairs in. But Naito whiffed a gut kick where he threw the gut kick and it wasn't even anywhere near him. And then they botched a spot where Moxley was charging in the corner and went for a clothesline, but Naito went for the kick at the same time, and they both fucking hit each other at the same time. And not meaning to. And then they went to the floor forever and fought on the desk. And Moxley gives the referee, who was a New Japan referee, looked like he was 4'7". He gave the referee the finger, and I wrote, why is this no-class piece of shit allowed on television at this point? He contributes nothing except his own delusional mental thought of what a supposed badass tough guy is. And he ain't it. And then Naito was beating on Moxley on the floor with a foam rubber tube. And I fast forwarded to about 15 minutes into this and found some more fake forearms. I used to watch my stuff back on tape, the Midnight Express's stuff, whoever I was managing, to see if there was anything we ought to do more of or less of or whatever. How can not just fans, but how can these guys who attempt to call themselves professionals look at the video of these fake forearms, and even if they looked good, that the fact that everybody does it in every match would make me not do it. But because they look like shit, it's an expose of the entire business to just watch it. And then Moxley brought another chair in the ring and threatened the Japanese referee, who ran from him, ducked in the corner, and hid his eyes. Am I lying, or did you see that?
No, that's the popular referee. They were chanting for him, Red Shoes.
So he took Red Shoes Dugan's fucking gimmick from Los Angeles in 72?
That's actually exactly what it is. He wears red shoes, and they call him Red Shoes because of the classic LA referee.
So then the referee finally got up the gumption to pull the chair away from Moxley and began hugging it like it was a little baby. Don't take my chair. What the fuck is this? So then Moxley tried the double arm, but Naito blocked it, and Moxley tried again and gave it to him halfway, and they kind of fell in a heap. And then Naito popped back up, and Moxley was selling it. And I wrote, imagine if I had paid attention to everything. And then they danced around a little bit like two drunks at closing time, and I'm trying to figure out what's going on, because there was an obvious miscommunication a minute ago, and now they're trying to do something. And then Naito dropped him on his fucking head and gave him another move of some kind and pinned him 1, 2, 3. And I think that the move I just said of some kind was what they were trying to do before, because he would have been giving Moxley his move after he foiled Moxley's. I don't fucking know, but they fell down a couple of times. Could you understand what was going on here?
Again, I'm going to reiterate what I always say. Jon Moxley's one of the worst professional wrestlers going.
Don't say one of.
Well, he may be the single worst, but he's certainly in the list, or in the top 5 or 3 or 1. But I can't stand his matches. And at this point, I can't stand people who do. It's beyond just me not liking his matches. They're awful. Every match is awful. This match.
What is anybody seeing? Are they overlooking the shit that don't land, the shit that don't connect, the shit he doesn't sell, the fucking horrible look of everything, the nonsensical?
They're overlooking all of that. They like the personality and the attitude. And they're able to use that to overlook everything else.
He's got the attitude of a fucking drunk in a sewer with bad manners, and he probably smells like it too. So why would you like that attitude?
You have to ask those people. I will say one thing. I was watching him walk through the crowd, and I realized if I wrestled in AEW, I would want to do that too. They should just have everyone do that. Change the look completely, cut down on the cost of the stage. Serious. I mean, it's not, you don't have to be as like old school as, you can't see anything because it's so dark, but have guys walk through the crowd. It looks better. You get some energy going, as opposed to the ramp and the stage just because that's what the late 90s told us we're supposed to do.
I think actually these people aren't walking in through the crowd. They're walking into the ring out of the crowd. Just an open invitation. Come on up. You can work too.
Well, that was Moxley versus Naito. I have to admit, I'm surprised you watched it. I did not think you were going to watch that match.
Well, as I said, I fast forwarded a lot of it because Jesus Christ. But I mean, I could spend a year picking his shit apart because none of it's any good.